Hi there. I'd love to share a little bit today with how to manage what's often called a flashback. Now, there's a whole range of these. Normally, when people talk about them, they're talking about the more severe end. And that's when we've had some kind of traumatic experience and we're getting memories which are coming back up without our thinking about it consciously. They just arrive, these memories of that experience. Now, it may be visual, maybe come in other forms. And at the more severe end, we really want to get some help from somebody. That said, what I'm going to share today can be very, very useful, either in conjunction with you getting help with somebody else or for the less severe end of the spectrum. And that less severe end, just so that you know, could be, and it's not strictly speaking a flashback, but the method I'm going to share will actually work for that as well. Going into a meeting and saying something wrong, or a social event and saying something wrong and coming away and having that replay. Not exactly the same as a flashback, but this method will work for that too. The problem with a flashback is that we're having something from another time, another place, intrude into the present moment. And in a way, that gives us the key, the essence of what we can do to help manage it. And that's to use methods to bring ourselves into the present moment, into this moment, right here, right now. And so you may well have come across some of these. They're very common in mindfulness techniques. The important bit, as far as I'm concerned, is that we start to notice what state we're in. Notice that we're actually experiencing some kind of flashback, whether on the more severe end or less severe end, and then we can apply something to bring us back into the present moment. The most common methods are to do with the senses, and very simple things like pressing your feet into the ground, rubbing your hands together, feeling your hands just as I'm doing right now in the video, looking around you, putting your hands on your thighs or feeling your upper arms in this way. These very, very physical experiences are the things that really bring us back into the present moment. Now, each one of us is going to be different in terms of what actually works best for us. Some people are more auditory, some people more tactile. In those moments where it's challenging, we really need something that's going to help us cut through. Now, so that is the moment when it's challenging. It's not always possible, particularly when it's strong, to even remember to do it. And so that's where the second part comes in that I'm going to share. This is to actually practice this in moments where you feel okay. So that means that sitting on a bus, perhaps feeling the steering wheel when you're driving, paying attention to the road, of course, but feeling the steering wheel, being in the garden and looking at the plants, tasting the food, all very, very common mindfulness techniques. If you can get into the habit of doing these regularly during the day, it builds a habit in your nervous system of being able to direct your attention to something physical, something in the present moment. And that gives you a greater chance of being able to do it in a moment of being triggered, in a moment where there's been a flashback or something like that going on. The work, at least the approach that I've explored the most, comes from the work of Babette Rothschild. And she is a big supporter of this idea of building this capacity in the times where you feel okay or more okay in a difficult time. And the reason is that what this does is it builds a sense of safety inside the person, inside the body. Because if I know that I can actually direct my attention at various times when I feel okay, then I'm building that same pathway that over time may be able to be used more and more effectively in moments when I'm challenged. And that safety and that stability is something that we can grow and grow and grow. And when we do that, we can start to get a little bit of distance in those more charged moments on what's actually happening. Maybe just enough awareness to be aware that we're having a flashback. Be able to maybe even direct our attention just a little bit for a moment so that we get some relief, that we get some sense that this is happening and I am also able to experience something different. Over time, what this does, it allows our whole system to calm down and to become more easy, more soothed. Now, as I said at the beginning, there are times where we really need to get some help and support, and the connection with somebody who has skill in this area is very, very useful and important. And at the same time, being able to do this for ourselves to whatever degree we can be incredibly, incredibly helpful and powerful. So that is how to work with flashbacks, or at least one small method, and I hope that you find it useful.